Every childhood has moments of wanting things you weren't allowed to have. And some of those moments stay with you long after you become an adult. This letter is for the version of me who still feels the quiet echo of missing out. I remember the rain and the overcast sky. Winter in our part of the world was more liquid than white. I was an only child in a big old house. And while I had my favorite spots and endless room to roam, it was a solitary existence. I learned early to build a world I could survive inside, filled with reading, conversations with dolls, and afternoons with my pet sheep. One winter evening changed things. My parents decided to lift the ban on television. We drove to Target after dark and found ourselves standing at a blue light special. I didn't yet understand what a TV would mean, but I could feel that it was a big deal to my parents. I sensed, more than knew, that we were about to do something most families already did. Something that looked a little more like normal. But in my house, normal always came with exceptions. Television time wasn't a communal experience. It was a solitary one, quiet, slightly secretive, and tinged with guilt. Except with my dad. He watched All in the Family, Hogan's Heroes, and occasionally Star Trek. Those moments were fun because there was no judgment in them, just shared laughter, shared curiosity, shared space. But most of the time, TV felt like a guilty pleasure we were allowed and not allowed at the same time. Some shows were good and others off limits, though no logic was ever given. Sesame Street was fine. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood too. Electric Company, too jazzy. Cartoons, fluff, dangerous to a growing brain. I could watch, but only within invisible rules. I could look through the window of other people's joy, but not step inside it. Mom watched The Sound of Music every year, but she kept one eye on the clock. I was allowed the first hour. Then I was sent away to put myself to bed. There's something about childhood restrictions that lingers long after the rule is gone. The message I absorbed wasn't just no TV. It was the things that brought comfort, pleasure, and connection were always conditional. Allowed, but only in measured doses. Enjoyed, but only under supervision. Present, but not fully mine. Now that I'm grown, I can empathize with the fear of letting a child disappear into a screen, especially in a world of smartphones and endless digital escape. I can see why the boundaries existed, but the child version of me didn't see caution. She saw deprivation. She saw the door into belonging close a few inches. She saw joy as something you had to earn, or something that could be revoked. I can see now how those early rules shaped the connection I find in television as an adult. The best of TV is storytelling, and storytelling is companionship. For many of us, the friend-based shows of the 90s and early 2000s weren't realistic reflections of our lives, but they were reflections of what we longed for. Connection, inside jokes, shared living spaces, belonging, companionship that many of our parents weren't able to model. TV filled a void that we didn't know how to name. So I want to tell that earlier version of me something true. In the present tense, spoken gently, as if I'm placing a hand on her shoulder. The hunger for connection you feel now makes perfect sense. It began when comfort was rationed, joy was conditional, and watching people in community was safer than trying to enter it yourself. You don't need to punish yourself for finding warmth in storytelling. You're not stealing time or hiding or doing something lesser. You're human. And humans pull close to whatever gives them a sense of belonging when other forms feel unavailable. You're not that child anymore. You get to choose what nourishes you. As long as your life holds balance and honesty, you don't have to justify where you find comfort. You don't have to prove that every minute is self-improvement. You are allowed softness. You are allowed warmth. You are allowed joy that doesn't need to be earned or defended. And the part that matters most, life is about reclaiming joy on your own terms, not the ones handed down through fear, scarcity, or control. And as you keep moving forward, you can let joy return in whatever shapes feel true to you, slowly, generously, without apology. Signed by the me who knows you deserved more and who trusts your choices now. P.S. Tell me in the comments, what was a TV show you identified with growing up? And if someone you love is trying to reclaim their joy this season, feel free to share this letter with them.